Hi everyone, I'm Tomer Ganor from Certora. As Mona said, the tech lead and security researcher. I worked on several restaking, liquid staking protocols, DEXs, lending, and more. And I'm here to talk about restaking and Achilles heels of restaking. So let's start. Wait. Oh, great. So let's start from what is restaking. So restaking is a solution to a problem. The problem is that we have a user that wants to use some AVS, some autonomous verifiable service, and want to make it secure service there. Secure service. And we have, on the other hand, we have a staker, someone that has a lot of money, maybe some LST, he deposited his money to some liquid staking protocols, maybe he has ETH, maybe some other tokens. But the staker wants to utilize his funds better. So he's already getting the interest or the rewards from the liquid staking, but his money just sits in his wallet. So he wants to create security to sell to the user of the secure service and earn money from that. So how do you do it? The staker takes all of his LST, all of his ETH, deposits it into the restaking protocol, delegates it to some operator that helps secure the secure service, and then the secure service, the operator secure the AVS, and then the AVS sells that security, that service to the user that is paying for both the operator and the staker. So everyone is happy. More security, more utilization, everyone is happy. So let's go over how should we build it, and then what can break. So the start is the staker, as we said. The staker has some LST, he has some ETH, and he just sits there and just collect dust, and that's it. So of course that's not good. So we want to lock the STETH, the EETH, all of the liquid staking tokens inside of the stake manager. The name is just a name. Maybe in some restaking protocol the name might be different, but the purpose is the same. So the stake manager is the entry point for the staker. What the staker needs to do is to lock all of his LST in this stake manager. He can withdraw from there. The slashing also happens there. So from the LST perspective, everything is in the stake manager. After we lock our funds there, are we finished? No, we're still not securing anything. So you just lock our funds and that's it. Not unlike in liquid staking, where you just lock your funds and then you're finished. You're just getting money from your ETH. Now we still need to delegate. So we need to go, the staker still needs to go to delegation manager. In the delegation manager, we delegate our funds to one or a couple of operators that we trust. The trust is very important because if we don't trust them, they might just get us slashed and we lose all of money and that's it. So of course, only delegate to someone that you trust, to operators that are well known or trusted. Otherwise, you might just get slashed. And after we did that, from the staker perspective, that's it. But it's not everything. We still need the operator to go to the allocation manager, and from the allocation manager to allocate to some different AVSs. For example, maybe we want to have some Oracle that we want to provide services to secure the Oracle or secure some secure computation. For example, if we can do this computation off-chain, and then it's verifiable, we can just verify that the computation is correct, and anyone can verify it off-chain, and if we are wrong, if we are malicious, if we do something that is bad, anyone can just come, say that we are malicious, we are wrong, and we get slashed, like the Oracle will get slashed, we'll lose money of the stakers, and then the user knows that the service is secure, the service is correct, the result is right. But if he's wrong, then you know that he's getting slashed, that he will be penalized for that, like in regular liquid staking. And then this is why also the operator needs to trust the AVSs. So if like the staker needs to trust the operator needs to trust the AVS, because the AVS can just take all of what is allocated to the AVS and just slash everything. So for example, if the operator has, let's say, 1 million ETH behind it, and just allocate 500,000 to the first AVS, and then the first AVS is rogue and just slash everything, then the operator lost all of that money. So you need also to trust that AVS, and you need to choose your AVSs depending on the risk and the reward you get. So for example, you might want a high risk, high reward AVS. Maybe you need to be up all of the time and to respond very fast, and if you not respond fast, then you get slashed. but you get high rewards, or maybe you want a low risk, low reward AVSs, or maybe you want a mix of them, or sometimes maybe they are low risk, high reward because of a promotion or something. Someone wants you to get used to the AVS, so that's always good, right? Get free money. That's good. So that is from the operator perspective. Then from the AVS perspective, we still need to slash operators when they are malicious. So how do we do that? So the AVS goes to the allocation manager. As we said, the allocation manager, the operator allocated some funds to the AVS. Now the AVS can, whenever they need to, they can slash that operator on those funds. How does that happen? Let's say the allocation manager has, for this AVS and the first operator, let's say 100 ETH. Then this AVS can go to the allocation manager and tell him, just slash 50 ETH for this operator because it was bad. Now, two things need to happen. First, the allocation manager needs to record internally that these funds already been slashed, and it's not allocated anymore for that AVS. So that operator has allocated 100, but now it's only left 50. So it's not possible for the AVS to then slash another 100. So we need to update the allocation as we go on, as the slashing go on. Otherwise, the AVS can just burn all of the money that the operator has, even if it's not allocated to them. So we need to first update internally. Then we need to go to the stake manager and to tell the stake manager, wait, all of the stakers that delegated money to that operator, they can't withdraw that money anymore. So that money is lost for them. So we need to go to the stake manager and tell him, okay, so decrease the balance of this operator, of this delegated power for this operator by this amount, and proportionally decrease the stake that's eligible to be withdrawn by the stakers by that proportional amount. Otherwise, the stakers don't lose any money, and nothing, like the AVS will be set because nothing really affected. There was no penalize to the operator or to the staker to delegate to that operator. So that's very important, those two things. Otherwise, things break. Great. Now the last part, of course, is the user can withdraw from the stake manager. And also, it might be very happy or very sad, depending on what he gained. Maybe he gained a lot of rewards and he's happy. Maybe he got slashed and he's sad, like depending on what the operator did. Operators maybe did. Great, so this is like the structure of the system, or just a suggestion of a structure for the system, something in this ballpark. So let's see what can break, what Achilles heels might exist. So first, we have the first Achilles heel is the allocation manager. So the allocation manager, as we said, is very important. What it does, you go as an operator, you allocate to some different AVSs your funds that are being delegated for you, and then those AVSs can just slash you. So a mistake that can happen in the allocation manager from the code perspective is that, for example, let's say this faulty allocation manager here is faulty, and we have a malicious operator. You see is bad. Let's say he has delegated to him 1 ETH. Of course, the number is very small. Let's say it's more, but for this simplicity, let's say 1 ETH. And he is over-delegating. You see here, it's not like, you can't overextend yourself. So if you delegate more, if you allocate more than you have, the sum of your allocation is more than what you really have, something bad can happen. For example, let's say the two AVSs there slash everything for that oracle. Then, effectively, from the stake manager perspective or from the operator's perspective, he doesn't have any more money. So he has 0 funds. And still the allocation manager thinks, and the network thinks that they have still money allocated to that. So the network will let them still operate inside of the protocol to create more security, and great. Maybe he's doing a good job, and then he gets rewards, and then everything is okay. But there is no money behind that. So it means that whenever he's wrong, whenever he's malicious, we can't slash him. So if we try to slash him after he got slashed for everything he has already, then one of two things will happen. Either the slashing just doesn't happen. And then, of course, the network will be sad because he should have slashed them, he didn't slash them, so, of course, that's bad. Or something else that can break is maybe we do slash, but some other funds. So not the operator's funds, but some other staker's funds. So that will be bad for the restaking protocol because you just slash people for mistakes that are not their fault. So you didn't even delegate your power to this operator, and still you got slashed. So either way, it's bad. So either you're not slashing, and it's bad, or you're slashing someone else that you shouldn't, and that's bad also. So it's bad and bad. So be very careful when you implement the allocation manager, because you need to not overextend and not also underextend, because if you do it the other way around, you might get underslashed if you do it in the other way, depending on how you distribute rewards. Great. So this is the allocation manager. Another Achilles heel that might exist is in the delegation manager. So remember, the delegation manager is where the staker comes to the delegation manager and then delegates his power to some different operators or one operator. So that part is very simple. You just come to the delegation manager, tell him, I want my funds to be there, and I point to there, and that's it, right? So what can break here is something with the design and not only in the code. So it's design that will imply that the code needs to be more complex. What can happen here is that the delegation manager might allow, it's very intuitive to just implement it atomically. Like whenever you delegate to someone, you come to the delegation manager, you tell them, I want to delegate to this operator, and then you delegate to that operator immediately. That makes sense. When you try to undelegate or to redelegate to some other operator, it's intuitive to just shift the pointer to some other address, and that's it. It's natural to do that. It's very simple, the code is very simple, and everything is great. But the bad thing that happens if you do that is that, let's say you see that the slashing is happening, an operator is going to get slashed. And then once you see that you're going to get slashed, something that you want to do in liquid staking, for example, you try to withdraw your funds before, but then we have some withdrawal queues or that stuff because we can't withdraw immediately because the funds are in the beacon and we can't get them immediately. But here, technically, we can just shift the pointer to some other operator and immediately, and that's it. But if we do that, then the funds will escape before the slashing happens, and then, again, one of two things happen. Either there are not enough funds to get slashed in the operator, and then we will slash some other extra stakers that are not at fault, which that's bad, of course. Or there are enough funds in the operator, and then, okay, so no one else will get hurt, but the stakers that delegate to this operator will get overslashed, because let's say they should have got slashed for 5%, now they will get slashed for 10%, because some of the funds escaped, and we still need to slash some amount from the operator. So either way, it's bad, because those stakers are very sad, and this, of course, this staker is very happy because it doesn't get slashed. But those stakers are sad, or the external staker, the other stakes are sad. Otherwise, in either case, it's bad. Okay, so this is a problem with the delegation manager. We need to make the solution here, or the right design here, is of course do something similar to the liquid staking, and just have something that is like a withdrawal queue, or something that will, although we can do it atomically, we can do it immediately, we shouldn't. We should sort of pretend that it takes time to withdraw or to redirect the funds, although it's not necessarily from like technical perspective. From design perspective, it's a must-have, because otherwise we can just not get slashed, which is bad. So we need to create this queue or this something to prevent this and to enable the slashing to still happen after you requested to undelegate or to withdraw your funds, and then we'll let you to withdraw after we have this extension period for the withdrawals, for the slashing to happen. So that's for the delegation manager. The third Achilles heel that exists, is the stake manager. So great, so the stake manager is very, very simple. What can go wrong there? You just deposit funds and withdraw funds, and maybe you have to do some slashing, but that's not very complex, right? So the problem that can happen there is whenever the stake manager receives funds for the first time, it's very simple. You just deposit funds, delegate to someone through the delegation manager, and that's it. But second time you deposit your funds, like as a staker, you can just deposit more funds. So you need to increase the delegation power of the operator you're delegating to. That's easy, right? That's not that complex. But the complex part is whenever you update the balance of the LST that you had. For example, LSTs are rebasing tokens. Like it increases as times go on, like every day it increases by a little, or decrease maybe, it might decrease. Like we don't like that, but it might happen. So those updates need to go through the entire system like immediately, because if one part is updated with the slashing or the increase in balance and the other isn't, so depending on how you distribute your rewards and how you do the slashing, but whether it's percentage or by amounts, it might break the system completely. For example, if you increase the balance in the stake manager, but you are not getting the increased delegation power to the allocation manager, so the allocation manager doesn't know that it's increased, so now the AVSs will slash for less because they don't know the operator has more funds behind him. But the rewards might be like more because you know that have more in the delegation. So that can break. And the other way, if you do the slashing proportionally by a percentage and not by a specific amount, then you might overslash, because let's say you want to slash 10% because you think it's, let's say, 1 million ETH, but effectively there are more than that, more money behind the operator, and you might slash more than you should. So either way, it's bad if you're not updating everything synchronously. Everything needs to be updated at the same time. So either you increase the balance or decrease. Of course, if you need to slash the funds, the LST balance, then you need to update the allocation manager again, because then that is even more immediate. Let's say the balance update is to go down, to rebase down. It means that once the AVS try to slash some specific amount, maybe the funds are not there, because the allocation manager told the AVS, listen, I have 1 million ETH behind this operator, then try to slash everything. And then effectively the staking manager knows that you have, let's say, only 900K of ETH, because the slashing happened in the beacon, so it's not anyone's fault. Like everything was okay, but the update came and you didn't update the allocation manager and didn't update the AVS, and then you try to overslash, and then we have all of the problems again. Maybe you were not slashing properly, or slashing some other addresses, which is bad also. So either way, you need to be updated throughout the system. So whenever you have some information, you need to directly transfer it to across the system. Great. So that's it, right? So we had the stake manager, we had the delegation manager, we had the allocation manager. So that's all of the parts of the system, right? So wrong. We have another part that is sort of implicit. So the fourth Achilles heel is the beacon. So the beacon is very interesting because it's sort of a part of our code, but it's not a part of our code. So we rely on that, but it's not our. Like, it's not our code. We can't audit it as a part of our code, but we need to be up to date with what happens in the beacon, because the beacon is keep getting updated. It's beta. So it keeps evolving. Every once in a while there is an update. And recently there was an update called the Pectra update, in which there was this an expansion of the existing API, in which user, validator that has less than 32 ETH could be able to hide his stake, to move the location in which the storage variable that had his balance to some other location. So from the code perspective, he suddenly has zero stake. So he could have been restaking, he could have operate within the restaking protocol with less than 32 ETH. But because of this update that should have happened, like we caught this issue before it happened, so that's very good because it was before it was incorporated. But if it was incorporated, then validators might be able to hide their stake. Then slashing might come. Then they will hide their stake. Now we try to slash them. They have zero balance, so they're not getting slashed. Like, they just not getting slashed at all. And then once the slashing happened, then we bring back our funds by depositing a bit more to have 32. And now we are starting back and we're getting rewards. So we can do it one time, and still we can just do whatever we want with the 31 ETH, for example. And then we do whatever we want maliciously, or just not answering the system and getting rewards just to get rewards. We should get slashed. Then we hide our funds, and then slashing happens, and then we unhide our funds. So that's of course very bad. And it's not the restaking protocol fault, but it's your responsibility to be aware of those things, because otherwise the restaking looks bad and people thinks that it's that something that shouldn't happen happened. Like, you should have got someone slashed and you didn't slash them. So that is the beacon is very scary. It's a scary part because it's something that keeps updating. It's not you don't control whenever it updates, and you should be always up to date. Like, the code can say exactly the same. Like, imagine some other protocol, let's say lending protocol. If you just exist and then you don't change anything, if the bugs are not there, they won't be just created out of thin air. Like, if the code is okay, it's okay. So if you audit the code and you have bug bounty and you have everything and you know it's okay, that's it. But now we have the beacon is also updating. Maybe we get more bugs from the beacon and it's not our fault. But we still need to be aware of those. So that's very scary. And it's keep updating like every couple of months. So great. So what is the conclusions? So first of all, we need to have as simple as design as we can. We need to make the system modular so we can audit every part in a part. We can know the relationship between the different parts, not to write a spaghetti code that the dependencies between them are not clear. We need to know what is the interface that each contract wants from the other contracts. we need to, of course, formally verify. That's what you do. Audit, and also have fuzzing, also have competitions, and also have bug bounties, because like all of those things are important. Because like for example, in bug bounties, people are other people are up to date in the forums for the beacon design, for all of those, and we can get them for free if they will just study that subject for us and just know, okay, so if I find something wrong with the beacon, and then the beacon is okay, like the code is okay, but it breaks the restaking protocol, I can just report it upfront and get money for it, and it helps us to be up to date, and other people do our job for us because it's not our code. So we can audit and we can formal verify and we can have competition on our code, but also the bug bounty also helps us with the beacon code and with that code, because it just breaks our code, but it's not our fault, but it's our responsibility. So we need to secure the restaking, because of course restaking is securing the services for the future, and you want to secure the securing of the future. So yeah, thank you very much. Thank you.